Picture ancient humans defending themselves against predators. A dramatic standoff. A lion, teeth bared. A saber-toothed cat, crouched to pounce. Our ancestors, spears raised, fighting for survival in an epic confrontation. That's the image almost every documentary and movie reaches for. The real fossil evidence tells a much quieter story. Our ancestors weren't dying in dramatic battles. They were being picked off silently by predators built for exactly that. Start with one of the most famous fossils in human evolution, the Taung Child. Discovered in South Africa in 1924, roughly 2.8 million years old. A juvenile Australopithecus africanus, one of our early ancestral relatives, only 3 to 4 years old at death. For decades, nobody knew exactly how the child died. Then, in 2006, paleoanthropologist Lee Berger took a closer look at damage on the skull that had puzzled researchers for years. Small puncture marks, deep in the eye sockets. Berger compared them to skulls of modern monkeys killed by a specific predator, large birds of prey. The match was almost exact. The likely culprit, a species similar to the African crowned eagle, a raptor powerful enough to kill prey many times its own body weight. And the evidence didn't stop at the skull. Buried alongside the Taung Child were the bones of small animals. Hyraxes, small antelope, lizards, even eggshells. Exactly the kind of debris found in the nest of a large bird of prey. The conclusion, an eagle, or something very much like one, killed the Taung Child, carried it off, and fed on it. The same way modern crowned eagles still do to monkeys today. Not a dramatic ground battle, a silent strike from above. The second case comes from a cave called Swartkrans, also in South Africa. In the late 1960s, researcher C.K. Brain examined a partial skull fossil known as SK54. On the back of the skull, 2 clean puncture wounds. Their size, their spacing, their shape matched almost precisely the canine teeth of a leopard. And then came the detail that made the case remarkable. In that same deposit, at Swartkrans, researchers found something else. An actual leopard jawbone, fossil SK349. When they compared the jaw's canines directly to the puncture wounds, they fit almost perfectly. Not a similar species, quite possibly the actual animal. Brain's conclusion, a leopard had killed this individual and dragged the body by the skull, exactly the way modern leopards still carry prey up into trees or into caves, away from competing scavengers. For years, the assumption was that this particular victim belonged to Paranthropus robustus, a more robustly built, presumably less intelligent relative, while our own more advanced ancestors, early Homo, were assumed to have been better at avoiding this kind of fate. But in 2024, a new analysis re-examined that same skull's anatomy and reclassified it. SK54 wasn't Paranthropus at all. It very likely belonged to genus Homo, our own direct lineage. Being smarter or more advanced didn't make our ancestors immune to being hunted. It just meant, at least in this case, they weren't quick enough either. 2 separate fossils, 2 completely different predators, one shared pattern. Neither death involved a dramatic standoff. Neither victim was an adult in their prime, armed and fighting back. Both were specifically, efficiently targeted, young, vulnerable, likely alone, or briefly separated from the group. That's not a coincidence. That's how real predators actually hunt. Big cats and raptors don't seek out a fair fight. They watch, they wait, and they take the easiest, safest opportunity available. For a small, slow, mostly unarmed early hominin that made simply existing on the landscape a genuine, constant risk, not from one dramatic enemy, but from an entire ecosystem of predators built to exploit exactly our weaknesses. So the picture isn't ancient humans locked in heroic battle with lions and saber-toothed cats. It's a slow, patient eagle, watching from above, waiting for a moment of separation. It's a leopard, silent in the dark, carrying its kill up into the branches before anyone even knew it was there. Being hunted wasn't the exception in our species' story. For millions of years, it was simply one of the conditions of being alive. And the 2 very different fossils sitting in a cave and a museum drawer are the closest thing we have to a signature, left behind by the animals that were quietly, patiently hunting us right back.